I'm going to start the recording and read the waiver, and then we'll go ahead and get started. In order to make these classes as freely accessible as possible to our participants, we will be using a verbal warning and assumption of risk at the beginning of class. Participation in this online class is voluntary. Physical activity programs may result in injury, and by participating, you assume the risk of injury that may result from your participation. We strongly recommend that you participate from a space that is suitable for this activity. For example, make sure that you moved nearby furniture and other potential hazards. If you're participating in a yoga class or class that involves lying on the ground, we recommend using a mat, or if you don't have one, a carpeted area. Participants are encouraged to stop if they experience pain or injury and should seek appropriate medical advice and care as needed. William Mary Health and Wellness strongly recommends that each participant have an annual physical examination and follow the healthcare advice of your provider before participating. Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started in child's pose. Just bringing your knees together, your toes together, knees wide, melting your chest down towards your mat. As always, if you can't hear me, please type it in the chat so I'm not just talking to myself. Really spreading those fingertips wide. My dog is sneezing behind the computer. Pressing your hips back towards your heels. Letting all your tension melt away, melting out of your forehead and into your mat. Knowing that you don't need to think about anything during class today except moving with your own breath and having a good time. Relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Taking a nice deep breath in, filling all the way up. And deep breath out, release it all. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Walking both hands over towards the right, pressing that left hand on top of your right hand. Then coming back to center and going over towards the left. This time your right hand goes over on your left hand. Stretching out that side body. You can kind of move around however feels good to you here. Then coming back to center, leaving your hands and your knees exactly where they are. We're going to come forward to swan. So bringing your feet up behind you, your hips down towards the ground. And back to child's pose. Good. Inhale, forward swan. You don't have to go very far into this pose, just warming up those hip flexors and your lower back. Good. And exhale back to child's pose. Last time, inhale, swan. And exhale, child's pose. This time coming up to tabletop, really pulling that core up and in, spreading your fingertips wide, pressing especially into your pointer finger and your thumb, having your hips right over your knees and your shoulders right over your wrists. Start to drop your belly, look up towards the sky, roll your shoulders back for cow. And exhale into cat, looking towards your thighs. You can kind of rock side to side as well. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. 2 more. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Coming back to that neutral spine, starting to extend your right arm and your left leg. Then bring your hand and your leg out to a diagonal. Good, and coming back to center. And back to that diagonal line. Just doing that a couple more times, helping to improve your balance, also warming up your shoulder and your core, warming up those obliques. Let's do 2 more. The last one. Coming back to center and going straight to the other side. So left arm, right leg, then out to that diagonal line and back to center. Good. Keep going like that, moving with your own breath. Let's take 3 more. Last 2. And last 1. Coming back to center, crossing your ankles, rolling back to a seat. You're going to turn to face you guys. Sitting up nice and tall. Bring your right ear to your right shoulder. Coming up to center, bring your left ear to your left shoulder. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. And this time look down towards your right shoulder. Coming up to center, coming over towards the left, and then look down. Coming back to center, clasping your hands behind your back, opening up your shoulder blades and your collarbones here. Trying to roll your shoulder blades together. And then try to lift your hands up a little bit away from your back. Your palms can be together or apart, whatever you want. Releasing that, taking some wrist circles. And switching directions. And taking some shoulder rolls towards the front of the room. And towards the back of the room. And then twisting towards the right, bring that right arm across. Your left arm across your right leg. Coming back to center, twisting towards the left. Coming back to center, extending your legs out in front of you, and then really gently forward fold. You can bring your hands next to your legs, flexing your feet towards your face. Getting into some of that connective tissue or fascia before we start getting into our muscles. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, fold a centimeter deeper. And coming back up to center and into butterfly, bringing those feet together, knees wide. Sitting up nice and tall. Then push down on one knee and kind of lean away from it. Stretching out that hip and side body. Coming back to center and do the other side, pressing into your knee and leaning away. Coming back to center, bringing your feet down and your knees up towards the sky. Just windshield wiper your knees from side to side, keeping them about hips width apart so when they go to either side, they're not stacked on top of each other. Coming back to center, crossing your ankles and coming back to downward facing dog. Pedaling out your feet here. You can move your hips from side to side. Then coming up onto your tippy toes and exhale your heels down. Good, inhale up and exhale lower. Last time, inhale and exhale. Then bring your knees down to your mat. We're gonna go straight into working our glute muscles, bringing your forearms down to the ground. Extend that right leg back behind you. You're gonna lift it up and then pause at the top. And then you're gonna pulse it a little higher, pausing again, and then come back down. So you're gonna lift up, pause, pulse, and go down. I was taking this class over the weekend, and I learned that if you do a pulse in the middle of a movement, it like engages your muscle in a slightly different way. So you should do like bigger movements and then pulses, but you should also incorporate pulses into your movements, if that makes sense. Let's take 2 more of these. Last one. And then extend that leg behind you and pulse higher. Try to lift it up a little higher. Keep pulsing. Really focusing on where your hamstring connects to your glute muscle. Then keep it up high. You're going to bend your knee and extend. Good. Bend and stretch. Keep breathing. Keep moving with your own breath. You can point or flex your foot. Just make sure it's super engaged. Let's do 2 more. The last one. Then bring your knees together and kick that leg up for a donkey kick as high as you can without arching your back too much. Bring your knees together and then back to that donkey kick. Keep going for 3, 2, and 1. Coming up onto your hands into that tabletop. And then we're going to crunch that right knee into your right elbow, and then over to your left elbow, then extend it behind you. So you're going to go right, left, behind. Just tapping as close to your elbows as you can get your knee. You don't have to touch them. Just 3 more rounds of this. Last 2. Last 1. Coming back to center, and then you're going to lift that right knee up for just a simple fire hydrant. Again, really flexing or pointing your foot, making sure that entire leg all the way to your toe is engaged. Keep going for 3, 2, 1. Hold it up and then bring that leg like 45 degrees back, and you're going to pulse it up and down. Trying to bring that thigh parallel to the ground. This is the last exercise on this side. You definitely got it. Keep pulsing for 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing your knees back together, coming back down on your forearms, extending that left leg up and back, pausing at the top to take that little pulse higher, and then pulse down. Really engaging your core and pressing up and out of your arms. So you're not dumping into your shoulders, but you're super engaged. Imagine you're like pressing a wall that's closing in on you away with your elbows. And then hold at the top and pulse that leg higher. Keep going for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bend and extend that leg. Bend, extend. Trying to extend that leg even higher. Keep going for 3, 2, the last one. Coming back up onto your hands, you're going to tap your left elbow, right elbow, and back behind you. So you're going to tap left, right, and back. Your left leg is still the one that's moving. Keep spreading those fingertips wide, pressing especially into your pointer finger and your thumb to help protect your wrist. 2 more of these. Last one. Then bring your knees back together, lifting into that fire hydrant. This is the second to last exercise, except we forgot donkey kick, so it's the third to last exercise. Then we're done with this leg. Trying to really feel your obliques engage as you lift that leg up. Then hold it up at the top, bring it back about 45 degrees and pulse that leg higher. Really getting into that side hip of your standing leg. So you should be feeling this in the outside of your hip on that right leg. Keep pulsing for 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees back together. Come back down onto your forearms, and let's do those donkey kicks. Bring your knees together and kick that leg as high as you comfortably can. Couldn't forget these. These are like a staple. Let's do 5 more. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. From here, we're going to come straight down on our side. We'll stretch after this. You're going to bend your knees and then start lifting that top leg parallel to the ground, then bring it back. Good, so lift it up, back to having your knees together. Trying to keep that leg exactly how it is. You're just lifting it up and down, but especially your lower leg isn't flopping around. Let's do 1 more. Good, and then leave your feet together and lift them off the ground. Then we're going to do those same clamshells. You're going to open and close your knees, but this time your feet stay together. You can always lie down on your arm. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Good. And then you can keep that bottom leg bent a little bit. Extend that top leg straight out. And you're going to like turn it up towards the sky a little bit. Bend it in. Extend it up. Lower down. Good. So you're going to bend in, extend, and lower. Keep going at your own pace. Getting so strong. Really feeling those muscles working. Let's do 1 more of these. Then we're going to step that top foot in front of us. You can hold on to it with your hand if you want. And we're going to work our inner thigh. So that bottom leg extends out. Lift it up and lower. Good. Up and lower down. Keeping that leg nice and straight. You can alternate between pointing and flexing your foot if your foot starts to get a cramp. Keep lifting for 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top and lift that leg higher into pulses. You are all doing so amazing. Really feeling this in your core as well. Then taking some little circles, keeping that leg lifted. So you're going to imagine there's a like crayon in between your toes and you're drawing a circle on the back wall. Trying to make sure you're not cutting off any part of the circle, especially the top of it. Then reverse the direction of your circles. And pulse that leg 1 more time, and then we're switching to the other leg. Good. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching straight to the other side. Who needs a break? We can stretch after this side. Bending your knees and then lift that top leg up and lower down, trying to keep it parallel to the bottom leg. Of course, if you ever do need a break, if you feel like you're disconnecting from your breath, just get a sip of water, maybe come back to child's pose, and then rejoin when you're ready. Last one like this. And then keep your feet together, lift them off the ground, and then lift that top knee up. Different variation of clamshells, working a slightly different muscle. Clamshells really target that side hip muscle. Keep going for 4, 3, last 2, and last 1. Keeping that bottom leg bent, extend that top leg and then turn it up a little bit so your knee faces kind of towards the ceiling. Bend it in, extend, and lower it down. Good, you're gonna bend, extend, and lower. Imagine you're like a graceful ballerina here. Just 2 more of these. Last one. And then stepping that foot in front of you, you can hold on to it if you would like to. Extend that bottom leg out long, lift it up and lower. Maybe try not to let it touch the ground when you go down so that you're always engaging your muscle, never letting it completely relax here. Keep lifting for 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top, take some pulses. Make sure you keep breathing. Then taking some circles towards the front of the room. And then towards the back of the room. We just have one more thing after this. Then we're stretching our legs out. And coming back into those pulses. Keep pulsing for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release that leg down, sitting up, bringing your legs wide on your mat, sitting up nice and tall. Making sure your feet are flexed and also going towards the back of the room instead of caving in. You always want to protect your knee joints. And then if you want, you can fold forward in between your legs a little bit, maybe bringing your forearms down to the ground. Then walking over towards the right, stretching over that right leg. Bring that right arm down inside of your right leg and your left arm up towards the ceiling. Really rotating your shoulders open. And then if you want, you can stretch down towards your foot with that left hand. You don't have to reach your foot, just go in that direction. Walking back through center and over towards the left this time. Then placing that left arm down inside of your left leg, and your right arm goes up towards the ceiling. If you want, you can reach towards that left foot. Coming back to center and walking all the way up, sitting with a nice straight spine. Bring your feet back to that butterfly pose that we did at the beginning of class. Sitting up nice and tall, and this time you can fold forward over your legs. Coming back to center, extending those feet out, so now you have a diamond in between your legs, sitting up tall and then folding down, rounding your head towards your feet, starting to get into your outer hips. We were just stretching more of your inner thighs. Coming back up to center, extending both legs out in front of you, and then hugging that right knee into your chest. You can kind of move around till you feel the most stretch in that side hip. And then twisting towards the right. So you're going to twist towards your leg. You can bring your elbow across your leg if you want to. Coming back to center, placing that right knee on top of your left knee. Really flexing that left foot. Sitting up nice and tall, and then take a super, super gentle forward fold, just bringing your hands next to your leg. You don't want to fold too far since your knee has to be straight. You don't want to force anything. Coming back to center, and then pulling that left foot in towards your right hip. If this isn't comfortable to you, you can just sit crisscross applesauce. Also, if your knees don't go together, you can put a pillow here. That makes it a lot more comfortable. Sitting up nice and tall, you can fold forward over those legs. Stretching out all those muscles that we were just working. Coming back up to center, extending your right leg out, bringing your left knee in towards your chest, moving around, feeling where you feel that stretch the most. And then twisting towards the left. Coming back to center, bringing that left knee on top of your right knee, sitting up nice and tall, and then very gently forward fold over that leg. Keep flexing your right foot. Sitting up nice and tall, bringing that right foot in to meet your left hip. Again, you can put a pillow or not cross your legs all the way over. Sitting up nice and tall, and then forward fold over your legs. Coming back up to center, and then you can cross your legs or sit on your feet. We're going to do a super, super quick arm section today. So you definitely got it. Bringing your hands together, we're just going to pulse them up higher. So you're at like about a 90-degree angle, more or less, and you're pulsing your elbows up towards the ceiling. Keep breathing here. Keep pulsing for 3, 2, 1, releasing that. And this looks kind of weird, but it's really effective. You're going to tap your elbows on top of one another and then switch which way you're tapping them. This is working right here. Like, I don't even know what that area of your body is called. Near your shoulders. Good, keep tapping for 3, 2, 1. Coming into C shapes. You know these are my favorite. We're gonna draw some C's in the air, really broadening your collarbones, making sure that your C's stay between your shoulders and your hips. Really rotating your pinkies underneath, feeling your triceps engage. Keep going for 3, 2, 1. Bring your hands to those goalpost arms. Bring them halfway down and then up. You should feel this in your shoulders. It's also working those muscles around your collarbones. Keep pressing for 3, 2, 1. Then taking those tricep extensions, starting at your hip, pressing back, really engaging your triceps at the back. Keep going like that. This is our last seated arm exercise. Keep pressing for 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to come down into a plank on our knees. Then you're going to press up to one hand, up to the other hand, down to that first forearm, and down to the other forearm. Okay, so these are plank up downs or plank walks. Transitioning from working our arms to our abs. This one works both. Let's take one more on each side. And then pause in that forearm plank on your knees, making sure that now your hips are a little above your knees. So usually you'd be in a straight line, like put your butt up in the air a little bit. We're going to go into hip dips, tapping that right hip down, coming up to center, tapping that left hip down. Really getting into those obliques here. Last one on each side. Coming back to center, holding here, really pulling that core up and in, making your body into one straight line now. Holding for 3, 2, 1, just releasing down to the ground. We're gonna flip over onto our back and continue our ab section on the ground. So we're gonna start with just some normal crunches. Bringing your hands, interlacing them behind your head. You're gonna crunch up and release down. You don't have to crunch up very high, just enough to feel your abs engage and release. Trying to move nice, slow, and controlled here. Just 3 more. Last 2. Last 1. Bring your hips over towards the right and your knees over towards the left, and you're going to crunch up with those same crunches, but this time it gets more into your obliques. Making sure you could fit an orange in between your chin and your chest. Always protecting your neck. Keep going for 3, 2, 1. Coming up to center, knees to the left, knees to the right, hips to the left, and keep crunching. Last 3, 2, and 1. Coming up to center, extending that right leg up towards the ceiling. Letting it go down to the ground to a hover, and coming back up to the ceiling. Trying to bring it up high and straight enough that you feel that stretch in the back of your right leg. Really engaging your lower abs, pulling your lower back down to the ground. Imagine your belly button is also going towards the ground and then towards like your chin. So it's going down and up. That makes no sense, but you know what I mean. Taking 1 more of these and then switching sides. That left leg goes down to a hover and goes up towards the sky, feeling that stretch in the back of your left leg. Keep flexing your foot. You all look great. Last 3, 2, and 1. Coming back to center, extending your arms over your head. Then bring your arms up and reverse crunch, bringing your knees up to meet your elbows. Then release your feet back down, then slowly release your arms over your head, keeping your lower back connected to the ground the whole time. Bring your arms back up, reverse crunch to tap your knees to your elbows. Good, so arms out, core stays the same amount engaged, and tap your knees to your elbows. Moving nice and slow here. Last 3. Last 2. And last 1. Good. Crunching up, looking towards your thighs, coming into penguins or heel touches, tapping opposite heel. This is really good for your abs all over, but especially your obliques. Trying to look up towards the sky so you're not straining your neck. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last ab exercise here. Bringing your hands behind your head. You're going to crunch opposite elbow to opposite knee, then come back down. And then to the other side. Make sure you keep breathing. Trying to exhale as you crunch up and inhale as you go back down. If that breathing doesn't work for you, don't worry. It doesn't work for me. It makes me feel like I'm hyperventilating. Let's take one more on each side. And then releasing your arms and legs out long. Just extending your abs here. Taking a nice full body stretch. While we're here, we're going to work on our shoulder mobility a little bit. So keeping your hands connected to the ground, trying to keep your arms as connected as you can, bringing your arms all the way down into like goalpost arms, sliding them down as much as you can, bringing your elbows into your sides, and then pressing them back up, keeping your arms connected to the ground the whole time if you can. Let's take one more of these slidey things. And then hugging your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. And then start rocking forward and back. On this time, crossing your ankles, coming back to tabletop and back to downward facing dog. If you're facing the other way, you can turn around if you want to face the original way. Pedaling out your feet here. Then bringing that right foot forward in between your hands, coming down onto your back knee for low lunge. Really broadening your collarbones here. Feeling that stretch on your left hip flexor. Trying to imagine your heart is going through your arms, stretching even deeper into this pose. Then coming back to half splits, flexing that front foot, straightening your front leg. Then inhale, forward, low lunge. And exhale back, half splits. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Last time, inhale. And exhale, pausing here. Keep your foot flexed and then tilt your toes towards one side of the mat. Coming back to center, tilt them towards the other side, stretching all 3 muscles of your hamstring here. Coming back to center, keeping that left hand planted on the ground. Inhale your right arm up for a twist, stretching your hamstring and your IT band here. Bring that hand back down, coming back to that low lunge, and then start walking that right foot over into pigeon. So your right knee comes to your right wrist. Your foot can be anywhere in between your hip and your wrist. Sitting up nice and tall, rolling those shoulder blades back. And you can start to fold down to either your forearms or all the way down. You can make a little pillow with your hands if you want. Keep flexing that right foot to protect your knee. If you would like to turn this into a little twist, You can bring that left arm underneath you, and that right arm stays going out in front of you. You can look over towards the right. Releasing that, coming back to center, tucking your back toe under, maybe scooting it forward a little bit so you can lift that back knee up, and you're going to shoot that right leg up to three-legged dog. Bending your knee, open up your hip, feeling that stretch. Try to press your body back towards your thigh, and release that foot down to the ground, stepping that left foot forward in between your hands, coming down to that low lunge on this side. Again, trying to bring your heart through your arms. Making sure that that knee is directly over or a little bit behind your ankle. Pausing here for one more deep breath in. And deep breath out. And pressing back to half splits. Inhaling forward, low lunge. Exhale back, half splits. Trying to leave your hands where they are if you can. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Last time, inhale. And exhale, pausing here. Keep flexing that foot, tilting your toes towards one side of the room. Coming up to center, tilt them towards the other side. Coming back to center, keeping that right hand planted. Inhale your left arm up for a twist. Good. Coming back down and back to that low lunge, and then into pigeon on this side, bringing that left foot across your mat. Sitting up tall to get a deeper stretch in your hip flexor. And then when you're ready, start to fold to feel that in your outer hip. Keep flexing your right foot. And then if you want to turn this into a twist, bringing that right arm across towards the left, following your hand with your gaze. That left arm can extend out in front of you. Taking one more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Releasing any binds, pressing up onto your hands, tucking your back toe under, maybe scooting forward a little bit so you can lift that back knee off the ground. And then extend that left leg up for three-legged dog, bending your knee and open up your hip, pressing your chest back towards your thigh. Then bringing that foot down, looking forward towards your hands. Start to walk forward until you can sit down, extending those feet out in front of you, sitting up nice and tall, and then folding down over your legs, maybe grabbing onto your feet this time, or staying with your hands on the side of your legs, trying to lengthen your spine. Coming back up to center, scooting forward so you have enough room to lie down, and then one vertebrae at a time, coming down to your mat, hugging your knees into your chest and rocking side to side. Keep hugging that right knee in, extending your left leg out. You can rock that leg from side to side. And holding on behind your thigh, extend that leg up towards the ceiling, flexing your foot. And start to point and flex your foot. Then taking some ankle circles and going the other way. Releasing that leg out long, switching sides, hugging that left leg in, rocking your knee from side to side. Holding on behind your thigh, extending your leg up towards the ceiling, flexing your foot. And then start to point and flex. And taking some ankle circles and switching directions. Hugging your knees into your chest, taking your knees in little circles. And then going the other way. This helps release the vertebrae in your lower back. And then cross your right leg over your left leg. You can cross your ankles together if you want. And then move your hips over towards the right and bring your knees over towards the left. You can extend that right arm out, following it with your gaze. You can also extend that left arm, or you can press down on your legs, whatever feels better to you. Coming back up to center, switching how your legs are crossed. So this time your left leg crosses over your right leg. Move your hips over towards the left, and then bring your knees over towards the right, maybe pressing down on them and looking over towards the left. Coming back up to center, coming into happy baby, grabbing onto the outside edges of your feet, bringing your tailbone and your shoulders closer towards the ground. And then bringing your feet down to the mat with your feet together and your knees wide. One hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. Noticing the difference in your body between now and when we started class. Thanking yourself for giving you time to make this difference in your body and your mind. Either staying here or start to extend your arms and your legs out on your mat, knowing that all your hard work is done here. All you have to do now is relax in Shavasana. Slowly start to deepen your breath, wiggling your fingers and your toes, stretching your arms over your head for one final full body stretch, hugging your knees into your chest, rocking side to side, rolling over onto your right side, noticing how relaxed you feel here, and knowing that you deserve to feel this way more often. Pressing yourself up to a comfortable seat, your hands at heart center and your eyes closed. Thank you so much for coming and practicing with me today. The light in my heart honors and cherishes the light inside of each and every one of yours. Namaste. Thank you all so much for coming to Yogalates. I hope you liked it. And I'm going to stop the recording. If any of you want to stay and talk to me, I'd love to talk or answer any questions. And I hope to see you on